Whether your job exposes you to hazards like chemicals, places you in dangerous locations like high above the ground or below in trenches, or requires you to perform risky tasks like heavy lifting or working with machinery, there are many circumstances where you can potentially suffer illness, injury, or death. So that's why the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, that's OSHA, developed a proactive approach to identify possible hazards and take steps to eliminate or reduce them before anyone's harmed. A job safety analysis, called a JSA, otherwise known as a Job Hazard Analysis, JHA, is defined by OSHA as a technique that focuses on job tasks as a way to identify hazards before they occur. It focuses on the relationship between the worker, the task, the tools, and the work environment. Ideally, after you identify uncontrolled hazards, you will take measures to eliminate or reduce them to an acceptable risk level. And given how many people are harmed at work, incorporating JSAs in your workplace is really a no-brainer. So the idea is to actively look for possible hazards that you might not have noticed, along with potential hazards that could arrive after a change, like a new process or new equipment. Then for each step along the way in this task, you figure out what additional precautions you can take to mitigate these hazards and make the task safe to perform. So the overall goal of any JSA is to determine worst-case scenarios and possible consequences of performing a certain job, how an incident might happen, and how likely that scenario is, what factors might contribute to it, and ways to eliminate or reduce the risk, right? When you familiarize yourself with workplace operations, put in place the right procedures, and then incorporate these into employee training, you've got a much better chance of preventing workplace injuries and illnesses. You also are showing your company's commitment to worker safety. That's why this is an ongoing process of continuous improvement. So a JSA is a tool that's part of your company's larger safety program. OSHA's General Duty Clause requires an employer to provide employment and a place of employment which are free from recognized hazards that are causing or are likely to cause death or serious physical harm to employees. A JSA goes hand in hand with the OSHA safety standards that are specific to your industry. This is the best place to start, so make sure that you look these up and incorporate them right into your JSA to ensure that you're in compliance. JSAs offer other benefits too, like increased productivity, fewer people missing work due to illness or injury, and reduced workers' compensation claims. Supervisors can use JSAs to simplify job training because guess what? They document each step to perform a job safely. Taking an inside view of a JSA, it has 6 phases. First, you select and prioritize jobs to analyze. Then you analyze all steps of the job, you look for hazards, you describe those hazards, you select, install, maintain, and review controls, and you continue to review your job hazard analysis as you gain more employee feedback and as time goes on. All right, grab your clipboard. As a JSA coach, you'll need it to get started on the first phase of your game plan, which we're going to cover next.